Okay, well, I'm Paul O'Hare. I'm a local field botanist and native plant gardener. And here we are in the Ainslie Wood area, featuring trees in Ward 1, original trees in Ward 1. Original because they're trees that were really not planted by us here. They're planted by squirrels. They're remnants of historical habitats. And so right here on Lower Horning here, we're featuring this beautiful Shagbark Hickory. It's probably the largest in the city. It's probably about, who knows how old it is. It could be over 2 centuries, 250 plus years old. I was saying to Maureen I have an increment borer, but I wouldn't use it on hickory because I'd probably break it. I've never tried to core a hickory before. Well, at least not a Shagbark Hickory. A Bitternut Hickory I've tried. Yeah, this is a beautiful original remnant of the natural forests that were here, and primarily maybe they were in this area. Oak hickory forests, maybe open oak hickory forests. This one here is quite amazing. The resident here actually sent me some photos, and I know it's hard to see maybe on there, but you could see a photo of the tree and the tree here in 1942. So the tree was actually quite large even in 1942. So here we are 78 years later, and it doesn't look much different in a way. It's just so, yeah, hickories are quite confounding on how old they might be, and so again, this is probably the largest in the city, and yeah, they color a beautiful yellow in the fall. That's how you can spot hickories in forests at this time of year too. The leaves are starting to fall. It has compound leaves too, so it's instead of a simple leaf with just a petiola stalk and a simple leaf, it's a compound leaf, so it has a central stalk and multiple leaflets on it, like other hickories, like ashes, like walnuts. So she's a beaut. Well, here we are still in Ainslie Wood here, Ward 1, and we're going to feature some original trees on Blackwood Crescent here. I checked the 1954 aerial photo online. You can actually search for that online. It's a University of Waterloo site where they have all the 1954 aerial photos. You can check them and see what was here then for pretty much all of southern Ontario. And yeah, my hunch was right. There was a big block of woods here in 1954, just below the escarpment. The 403 is just up there, and yeah, just a big square of woods through here. And these trees, the largest trees in this area, are remnants, again, of that forest. Again, these are original trees. This one here is a basswood. This is our native linden, Tilia americana. They're often multi-trunked, and they often shoot out sprouts from the bottom there. You can actually see some sprouts trying to come up, but they've obviously been cut. But when you see them in natural settings, they're often multi-trunked. We have a Shagbark Hickory here, and we can turn the camera after that, and feature that. But the basswood, there's basswood, Shagbark Hickory, Bitternut Hickories here. I can see in the distance a bur oak there. There's more hickories in backyards. There's another basswood over here, and a sugar maple down the street. And yeah, maybe we could take a little walk with the camera and feature those as well. But these are all native trees. These are all forest trees, and they all kind of grow together. You often see sugar maple, basswood, bitternut hickory, bur oak, Shagbark Hickory in the forest together. And so it's not unusual when you build houses, you know, you chop down the forest and leave a few trees that aren't really getting in the way. You can build the houses around them. This is what, you know, you're left with, these beautiful original trees, which are probably, you know, a century or more old, maybe some a little less here. They probably saved some of the smaller ones here as well, but these are definitely some of the larger ones. This basswood, who knows, could be 80, 90 years old or something. Maybe more, you never know. You'd have to core it. But yeah, maybe we could take a walk around. And we saw the Shagbark Hickory there on Lower Horning, and it obviously has the real distinctive shaggy bark. But this is Bitternut Hickory, its sister species, Coraya cordiformis, and has a very different kind of bark, just this kind of squiggly pattern on it. It remains relatively smooth, but again, produces nuts like other hickories, and is a fairly common forest tree. And according to the late Bruce Kirshner, who's an old growth forest researcher, he often found old bitternut hickories are kind of large bitternut hickories are indicators of old growth forest often. So it's not often you see really large bitternut hickories in forest. When you do, and they have external growth characteristics that show that they are, old trees. Yeah, you're looking at probably a fairly old forest. Not original forest, you call it secondary old growth, because there isn't a forest in southern Ontario really that hasn't been logged somewhat. So it's called secondary old growth these days or something. But yeah, so we've seen Shagbark Hickory, Bitternut Hickory, and let's maybe move this way, and we'll go see this sugar maple down there. Maybe we want to just see that oak above the house over there with the green on it, the green leaves still on it behind the house.
So like the tall one at the back.
Yeah, that's a bur oak back there. I could tell it's a bur oak from here.
And we could access that through the hydro.
Oh, could we? Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, but just there's sugar maples, bur oaks, bitternut hickories, basswood, shagbarks, and then we'll go look at this sugar maple over here. Yeah, another basswood there, simple leaf, kind of just spade-shaped leaf. Again, our native linden.
Oh, yeah.
And then we have this old sugar maple here, and that could easily be over a century old. So that's again an original tree. Of course, the sugar maple, the leaf is stylized on the Canadian flag, and unlike the Norway maple, which is right here, which we should not be planting.
Ooh, yes.
No, yes. So I can hold them both up. So you have the larger Norway maple leaf with the sugar maple. Yeah. And why you'd want to plant a Norway maple which colors next to nothing in the fall, as opposed to a sugar maple, is beyond me. Even those Crimson King Norway maples with the red leaves they're ugly to me. I often say in talks, just like, be an adult and wait for the color in the fall. You don't need this candy in the spring of these red leaves all year,
Well said.
through the whole growing season. Yeah, just be patient. Get a red maple, our native red maple, Acer rubrum, colors of beautiful pinky red in the fall, or just get sugar maple, which is yellow, orange, all kinds. But yeah, Norway maple, it's just, it often gets blotches on the leaves. This leaf spot, there it is right there. There's a smaller Norway maple leaf with that classic Norway maple tar spot, leaf spot, whatever you call it.
That's your fall color right there.
Yeah, that's your fall color. So anyway, plant the sugar.